And welcome back to my channel. I am Timmy Treacle, also known as Horror Fan for Life, and I have another special top 10 list for you guys. I'm going to be giving you guys my top 10 Drew Barrymore movies. Now, she is my favorite actress. I've loved her ever since I've seen her in E.T. And even though she did have some issues growing up, I still love her to this day. I think she's just the sweetest person, and I would really love to meet her someday. But um, without further ado, here are my top 10 Drew Barrymore movies. Coming in at number 10 is E.T. Coming in at number 9 is Firestarter. Firestarter is a great movie. It's got Drew, who has she's able to basically set you on fire. She can create fireballs. She's very dangerous, and her father, same thing. He can control your mind, make you do things that you wouldn't normally want to do, and so there are these bad guys that have been after these two for the longest time. And there is a small appearance in the movie from a young Heather Locklear as well. Um, and she is really good in the movie for what, few scenes. And there's some flashbacks too in this movie with her. But yeah, this is a fun movie. And I thought she did a really good job in this movie. I would love to see her get a superhero role, like in Marvel or DCU. Um, I think she could do really well. I'm thinking she was in maybe one of the Batman movies in the '90s. I can't remember. They couldn't have been that good because I couldn't remember if she was. But number 9 is Firestarter. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Number 8 is Scream, one of the best openings ever in a slasher movie, and Wes Craven knocked it out of the park with this film. Got great killers in this movie. Great characters, a lot of great characters in this movie. Lovable characters that we grew to love. And even the bad guys in this movie got a lot of love for their performances as well. But the opening to this movie is fantastic, with Drew talking to some stranger on the phone about scary movies, and it's life or death with her boyfriend. And then, of course, ultimately, we know what happens to Drew. But I would love to see her get a starring role in a horror or slasher movie. I would love to see her as a final girl in a slasher movie. I thought that'd be a lot of fun. But yeah, Scream comes in at number 8. Number 7 is He's Just Not That Into You. Number 6 is Charlie's Angels. Number 5 is Going the Distance. Number 4 is Cat's Eye. Number 3 is Fever Pitch. Fever Pitch is one of my favorite baseball comedies. You have Drew Barrymore starring opposite side of Jimmy Fallon. And Jimmy, this is his best performance that I have seen him in as far as the starring role goes. And his love for the Boston Red Sox. He's a teacher in this movie, but he has front row seats for the Boston Red Sox. And each year, him and his friends get together and see who's going to go to which games and all these things. He meets young Drew, who is an executive who is looking to move up in her job. She makes a lot of money, and they end up meeting and start to date. But eventually, they start to grow apart a little bit because of Jimmy's love for the game and her not really understanding all that. But eventually, Jimmy wants to give up his baseball tickets for her, and she basically rushes to him at a baseball game to stop him from getting rid of the tickets. But it's a fun, romantic comedy, and I love Drew and Jimmy in this movie. And yeah, it comes in at number 3 on my list. Coming in at number 2 is Ever After. This is a Cinderella story, basically. Um, and this is from 1998, if I'm not mistaken. And this is the way to do a Cinderella live action movie. The one we got in 2015, I wasn't really fond of. Maybe through a rewatch, I may change my mind. Who knows? But it's highly unlikely. I hardly ever change my mind when it comes to movies. Um, if I do, it's a rarity. But Ever After is fantastic. I love the characters, the performances, and everything about that movie. That's the way you do a live action Cinderella movie. And I like her performance. She's just fantastic. She plays that role to a T and just does a fantastic job. But Ever After was a close. It came close to being my number one. If it wasn't for my number one being a Adam Sandler movie, and I know what you guys are probably thinking. Oh my God, he's going to put Wedding Singer at his number one. No, Wedding Singer is a good movie, but it's not in my top 10. But my number one favorite Drew Barrymore movie is 50 First Dates. I'll give you guys a few seconds to boo me and throw stuff at your screen. Okay, you guys all done? But 50 First Dates is very underrated. It's got a great cast. It is freaking hilarious. And I love the performances of Sandler and Barrymore in this movie. They work great together. They've done 3 movies that I know of together, and they're fantastic. And a lot of people would say Wedding Singer is their best. I disagree. I like 50 First Dates. I even really enjoyed Blended. I would put it at number 3. I would put Wedding Singer number 2, but that's for another discussion. 50 First Dates is just a great story. You have a girl who gets into a tragic accident and she loses her short-term memory. And so every day she is repeating the same day over and over again. But that's the way her father and her brother have chose to handle it, because they just don't have the heart to tell her that, it's been over a year now and she's still repeating the same day. The same thing she did on that day leading up to her accident. And yeah, it's crazy, but they pull it off. And then she meets Adam Sandler's character, who's kind of a player in this movie. Doesn't want a relationship, just wants to have fun with women who come in on vacations and stuff. But he meets this local girl, and bam, they hit it off. And he can't get enough of her. Eventually, they work it out though to where every morning she wakes up, she watches this videotape. Because now she's married, she has a child who is, 6 years old, 7 years old, and it's been some time later. But it's a fantastic romantic comedy, a love story, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. I think this movie is very underrated, and for the critics out there that hated on this movie, I just feel bad for them, because this is a great movie in my opinion, and it is my number one favorite Drew Barry movie. So, in the comment section below, give me your top 10 Drew Barrymore movies, and did you agree with my list? Did you not agree with it? Let's have a great discussion about this. Other than that, I thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are new. Hit that bell notification. If you like this video, hit that like button. And share this video on your social media as you see fit to. But thank you guys for watching. And until next time, I thank you for watching, and check you later.